माननीय सदस्य श्री लावू श्री कृष्ण जी।
Thank you, ma'am, for allowing me to speak on India's strong, successful, and decisive Operation Sindoor. I wish opposition has taken this spirit and expressed it. Ma'am, before I start my speech, let me quote from Kautilya's Ardhashastra. When a righteous king is attacked without a cause, he must retaliate with all his might to protect his people. These are the words from Ardhashastra. These are not just ancient wisdom. They are our responsibility today, responsibility to act, to lead, responsibility to defend. 22nd April 2025, in Pahalgam, Kashmir has seen what has happened, India has seen what has happened, world has seen what has happened. 26 civilians were killed, 20 others were injured. It was more than a violence. It was an assault on the soul of India. Tourists were held at gunpoint, asked about their religion. Based on that, they were shot dead. They were shot dead in front of their children. They were shot dead in front of their wives. This is not war, it was slaughter. Just 10 days before this has happened, I was there in Kashmir. Kashmir was thriving. Tourists were everywhere. For me to travel 30 kilometers, it took almost 1.5 hours. When I asked the driver, taxi driver, he was telling me the last 4 years or so, the tourists were flocking into Kashmir and the economy was thriving. But this Pahalgam attack has changed everything overnight. And India, as Kautilya said, has responded. On May 7th, Operation Sindoor was not just a retaliation, it was a statement of restraint, a statement of precision, a statement of resolve. We did not act in anger, we acted in accuracy. We did not just act with emotion, but we acted with ethics. Our actions were grounded in Article 51 of the UN Charter, which guarantees the inherent right of self-defense when a nation is attacked. When the terror crosses borders, self-defense is not just a right, it becomes a duty. With Operation Sindoor, India has sent a very strong message. The message was very clear. India will wait, but India will never forget. This is not aggression, this is assertive deterrence. And behind it stood our armed forces, men and women of unmatched courage. They fought with discipline, precision, and honor. On behalf of a grateful nation, I salute our Army, Navy, Air Force, and Special Forces. Jai Hind to every woman, every uniform that stood between India and terror. This clarity of action, this moral assertiveness was possible because of the bold leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Under his leadership, India moved from reactive to resolute, from strategic silence to strategic sovereignty. We have seen it with Uri surgical strikes, we have seen it with Balakot air strikes. And under the watch of Raksha Mantri, Rajnath Singh ji, Operation Sindoor was executed with both tactical brilliance and moral clarity. Moral clarity is the need of the hour. India's defense is now not just strong, it was swift, it was smart, and it was surgical. But we didn't stop at the battlefield. We took the truth to the world. 7 delegations, 32 nations. I had the honor of representing India in Qatar, Ethiopia, South Africa, and Egypt. It was led by a honorable member from the opposition side, Supriya Sule ji. The members in this delegation came from all political parties, but when we were overseas in this delegation, we were all talking in one voice. And what we witnessed there, when we went there, was not just diplomacy. We saw solidarity. The world stood with India, not in sympathy, but in shared conviction. They saw what we stand for and what Pakistan stands for. India has a thriving democracy, whereas on the other side, Pakistan is literally an army-owned state. It has not had a prime minister who has completed 5 years of term after their independence. World has also witnessed what India has given. India has given non-violence and Gandhiji. Pakistan has given world terrorist training camps. We have given refugee to Dalai Lama, and Pakistan has given refugee to Osama bin Laden. We exported teachers, technology, and trust, whereas Pakistan exported terror. The world understands this, and it stood with us. That solidarity was not accidental. It was earned by our External Affairs Minister, Jaishankarji, and our diplomats who worked tirelessly across the continents. Our diplomats have positioned India as a voice of clarity, of responsibility, and of resolve in the divided world. But when we reflect on Pahalgam, on Operation Sindoor, and diplomacy that followed, three urgent truths emerge. The first action point, it is time the United Nations defined terrorism. For over 30 years, India's proposed comprehensive convention on international terrorism has been ignored. It has taken so many lives. Let's not just debate about terror. Let's start about defeating it. And a terrorist is not a freedom fighter. He has no religion. He has no political ideology. A terrorist is a terrorist. We call upon the government to lead a global campaign for this long overdue definition, to give the world moral clarity and legal tools to act, because I believe only India can lead this campaign. Second action point, we must work actively with like-minded nations to ensure Pakistan is relisted on the Financial Action Task Force. India must ensure that sponsors of terror are held accountable. UN Security Council Resolution 1373 passed after 9/11 requires every nation to deny financing, sheltering, and supporting terrorists. But across our borders, terrorists are not just shielded, they are celebrated. Their names are painted on the billboards. Their hate is shouted in public squares. Pakistan impunity has cost lives, Indian lives, global lives. We have gone across every country which has faced terror. Definitely in the terrorist activity, Pakistani fingerprint is very much visible. And the world can no longer look away. We call upon the government to use India's growing global influence to build a coalition for counter-terror finance and to ensure Pakistan duplicity is exposed and punished. And third action point, sovereignty is no longer just about land. It's not just about geography. It doesn't stop at the border. It flows through every policy, every innovation, every bite. It's about future readiness, digital, economic, energy-based, and more so importantly, defense. We have seen the example with regards to what's happening in Russia and Ukraine war. Both the countries are waging a war for a very long time, but now none of them are able to move an inch forward because technology is advancing so fast so that both the countries can really catch up. Yes, India has been the largest importer of defense in the world in 2014, but that has changed in the last 10 years. Now 60% of weapons and equipment are Indianized and domestically manufactured. But it's high time. It's high time India creates a DARPA-style innovation agency, agile, autonomous, and outcome-driven, to lead breakthroughs in defense tech mainly. Because in this era, technology is the new territory. If we don't climb it, someone else will. A sovereignty must be designed, coded, and manufactured in India. Example I want to give you is Marut. It was designed by HAL, first fighter jet designed and built in Asia outside the Soviet bloc in 1960s. It was there in India, a jet fighter which was designed and manufactured and delivered in India. It was in action. It has seen the action in 1971 Indo-Pak War also. But when it was there in 1960s, it should have actually gone in the right direction, wherein we should have had much better jet fighters. But somehow it has digressed and we are not able to deliver that. It's because unless we have a great vision, unless we have a strong leadership, it would not happen. So I request government to actually look at in a direction in such a way that this defense technology gets enough funding so that Indian manufacturing, Indian defense tech can be on par, because going forward, our sovereignty depends on how much and how well we can innovate, how much and how fast we can innovate in this country. Operation Sindoor showed what India can do in critical hours. Now let's show what we can do in transformational decades. Sovereignty is not just about the LOC, it's about labs, our code, our skies and our chips. Let's not just defend India, let us define the future, not just power of strength, but a force of foresight. This is India's movement. I believe that rooted in our constitution, aligned with the international laws, protected by our armed forces, led by our bold leadership in the form of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and driven by the will of 1.4 billion Indians. Thank you. Jai Hind.